I hope that you are having the best day ever. And if you're not having the best day ever, I think that today might be able to help and just have a little conversation about not just anxiousness, but this time of year, where our fear and emotional overload comes from. And I really feel like it isn't these gigantic issues. It's the smaller things that kind of compound. So the goals that we've set maybe earlier in the year with no next step, or unfinished projects lingering, or unanswered messages, or just things that we haven't dealt with. And this concept of having too many tabs open in my brain has been something that I've just become more aware of, and just not allowing ourselves to actually fully shut down. So today, I figured I would talk to you about something that's quietly changed how calm I feel lately, and it's learning to close loops. So we're gonna do a lot of loop closing today, including stuff for health, like meal prep. I'm just prepping a very healthy couple things for the week, and cleaning up and organizing and setting myself up for a way that supports the good parts of life and not just running on empty. So I figured that today I could do a little bit of a life update, a little bit of a home update also. I wanted to give you guys a tour because there's some stuff that we're going to have delivered, which I'm really excited about. But this is not supposed to be some overhaul on life. It's not a big reset. It's not about burning everything down and starting all over again. It's just gently finishing stuff that has been left open. And I wanted to take you through my own journal notes today because I have been noting these down. And I thought that it was super interesting how we're coming to the end of the year of the snake. And if you've researched this at all, it is so fascinating because we're right up on the beginning of the year of the horse. So there's a lot of symbolism behind this where the snake energy is about shedding and releasing and finishing. And apparently some astrological signs feel this more than others. So if you're at all nerding out about this with me, I could go on and on about this forever. So the horse energy in this new year is focused on movement and momentum and forward motion, where I think so many of us have been just living in this opposite energy of that. And then this 9-year cycle of it all coming to a close is wild to me because it just definitely fits where I am. So I think really looking at closing loops and finishing up the projects and allowing momentum to feel good when you're not dragging those unfinished projects behind you, I think could change everything. So let's sit down and hang out together. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to hang out with you guys. Today's going to be a little bit more casual. I do still want to go through, I was just journaling this and I was giving this a lot of thought of things that cause the most amount of frustration and friction in our lives, and that ultimately lead to like anxiety and even anger and sadness. For me, at least, I just slowly over the years figured out that this was the term that I like to call a closed loop. So when it is not closed, this is the source of so much pain, at least for me. So I figured that I could take you through my little journal notes, and I'm just planning out my day. I'm having some ultimate loop closing fuel. I'm going to link my supplements down below because the one that I take like a tropical one right now because it makes me feel like I'm not frozen solid, stuck to frosty outside. It is ridiculous outside, and I cannot wait to go somewhere warm, which I keep saying we will talk about it, but that needs to be a whole other conversation. So for today, I'm going to put on a really good playlist. So I made a Valentine's Day, I made like an ambience playlist, and that's more if you're going to sit down and plan your goals and you need like some chill vibes, absolutely. So if you search Valentine's Day ambience on Spotify, again, I'm so proud that it comes up first, but it comes up first somehow. Apparently it's not a thing. So there's that one, but I made a new one called Love Story Lane, and it is so good. I think it's because we're watching Landman right now, so it's very country, but I love it. It's all just like really good like love songs, but like it's so good. It's giving Valentine's Day but country. There's a lot of Chris Stapleton. It's so good. I'm obsessed with it. So we're still in. I love a theme. I mean, look at my little cubby with the straw topper. How cute. I've got this is just water. I've got I call it pre-workout. I'm gonna do a walk in a bit. Oh, and there's a lot. Today's gonna be a lot of updates too. So I wanted to give you a little tour of where. Do you know where I'm seated right now? Probably, yeah. I mean, you've seen enough decorating videos, so that's where I keep all my Christmas stuff back there. I want to add some barn doors because, and this is just such like a real life moment, and this is a reminder that social media is a bunch of hogwash. Because look, if I go like this is where I am. I'm like in the furnace room pretty much. So I don't have, oh, poor me, I don't have an office in this house. I don't have an office. We have a guest bedroom instead because we live in the middle of nowhere. So if parents or friends or whatever do come over, then they have somewhere to stay. At our old house in the city, we were just like, the spare bedrooms were our bedrooms. And we decided not to do that. But we do have so many projects and so many plans for this house, and it is so exciting. And one of them, I have this like pie in the sky goal of building a she shed. And my parents got me the sweetest thing that I want to put up. I actually want to like redo this whole space. So this was here when we bought the house. It's supposed to be like a manly man's workbench, I believe, but I am using it as like my workspace, and I kind of love it. And this is ultimately what I want, because I love that it's like in front of the window. So we have a walkout basement. So that's perfect for me because I like the natural light as much as I can get it. I do have my ring light up that I was talking about in the prior video. When we were talking about seasonal sadness, I have this like ring light, not the ring light that people use, like the beauty gurus, not one of those. I mean, could it work? Maybe, but it's just to mimic the sunlight whenever it's dark. But today it's beautiful. And that's the one thing I will say. It is cold as cannolis outside, but because the sun comes out and reflects off the snow, it still makes it bright and sunny. So I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. So my goal of this she shed, and I almost want to give you like my Pinterest board. I want it to be a couple of steps, like very Snow White, like into the forest. I'm just trying to predict though, on days like today, will I want to go out there? So that's like the real pie in the sky would be like this really cool, almost like a hamster tunnel where I could like get there somehow. I don't know, or a heated path, but even then I don't want to go outside. So I don't know. Maybe we need a little breezeway to link it. But I think it would be really cool to have this. I'm sharing my pie in the sky. There's no plan of doing this anytime soon, but I just really would love a workspace, but also a girls only space. I mean, Carl can come, but he's on the floor right now. So here's what I want to do. A 2-story kind of little side cottage to this house with like a hammock, like one of those, like a hammock loft thing where I could like read. The only thing whenever I think of that is like, oh, the possibilities of spiders. We're gonna have to get it sprayed so well. And then I really want to get a fireman's pole or like a slide or something. And I want the pole literally because of Mia Thermopolis from Princess Diaries. I just think it's like a really cool, I want to watch all of those movies from when I was younger and pull from all these really cool houses and be like, that's what I want. So it would really be a workspace for me, or like a hobby area where I can paint and craft, but then also work, take product photos and do all of that. And do stuff like this where if I do voiceovers or if I'm podcasting or filming, I have complete silence because I live with 2 boys, one being my husband and the other one being my dog. But boys aren't quiet beings. Ladies, do we agree? Like, I love my husband, and I'm just going to brag on him for 2 seconds. I talked about this concept of today's video on our vision board party, which is still up and exists and lives on, because I think we all need to revisit our New Year's goals regardless, which we're going to get into that probably next week. So if you feel like you're behind on your goals, let's just do like a revisiting of that. But on that live call, and that like we spent like 3 hours together, we drank champagne, we talked about this idea of closing loops. And there was so many comments of women saying, oh, I really wish that my husband would learn to close loops, because I always hear like something as simple as a complete home project not getting done. Sorry, that would be the more complex one. Something as complex as a full home project not getting done versus something as simple as leaving a wrapper on a counter. I just want to say, I think it's because I snagged him when I was 15 years old, but he is a master loop closer. So Andre is really, really good at this. I think that my source of stress is my own lack of loop closing, where I will get really excited about projects, everything from a home project or a reno project that's really small, or taking product photos or a work thing that I take on, and then I open up too many loops and I don't close them. And he always tells me that. He's like, you need to close up some loops. So that's kind of become our new theme in the house, but not only in work. So I figured I would share that with you and take you through my own journal entries of just a couple of questions that I asked myself of where is this frustration, pain points stemming from? And then we're expecting a really exciting delivery that Andre just told me about. I did not know that this was happening, but it's apparently my Valentine's Day gift. So it's going to be delivered. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to bring Angus out. Angus is my alter ego. Angus does the construction work in the house. Angus lifts really heavy things. Angus is a beast. I'm Angus. So Angus might have to come out because I think that we're going to have to carry this thing down the stairs and it might be insane. So there's a lot to do today, a lot of stuff that I want to walk you through as well, a lot of real talk. And then I want to give you a tour of like, once everything's organized and that I set all this up, I just want to show you what we like, just a closed loop. And I'll be very excited. And I always get asked to share this specific part. It's like the coolest part in our house. And I think I did a TikTok once and people are like, wait, where is this? So I figured I would share that and just kind of have like a really casual hangout with you guys. So one little loop that I wanted to close was the meal prep that you saw me doing. I want to start doing this, and it was actually inspired by one of you guys. So to the lovely subscriber that said just something small that they're romanticizing, and they almost said it like they underplayed it. I was like, it's actually genius. She said that she started doing soup Sundays, and I was like, oh my God, soup and stew Sundays, like let's do that. So just for me, I implemented that of like having a theme every day. And I also want to share this tip with you of not only food wise and meal prep wise, but cleaning wise. And that to me, one of the biggest unclosed loops is disorganized spaces. So for me, what I decided to do was tackle one room, one day every week, not all week long. So let's say Fridays are my cleaning days. I will tackle one space, let's say the basement. And then the next week I'll tackle the kitchen. And then I'll have a list. And I use our home refresh guide for this. It's on the Daily Grind website and it helps so much. But I tackle one space at a time and then I just put it on rotation so that then once it's done and there's a deep clean of it, it's complete. And then you just maintain it every other week and you're not just feeling like you're all over the place all the time. So for me, cooking, prep, making sure that those loops are closed of health-wise, making sure that I get daily movement in, but also making sure that my environment is clean is so big for me. So on that note, I want to completely set up my office space, clean it up. It's just like a catch-all, all thing, especially after the holidays and everything comes down here to die. So just a lot of cleanup, a lot of donation bins that need to happen. And then there's some exciting projects that I want to work on too. So I need to send some videos to contractors and carpenters because I need another, obviously I just showed you, I need another barn door here. Also, hopefully the sound is okay because when the furnace goes, you hear it. There is a storage room here that we're not even going to talk about because that needs to become a whole thing. And then there's actually a washroom down the corner that I call Death Alley. So we'll talk about that during the tour. And I want to show you the reno ideas. So there's a lot of ideas. I think that's the most cool part about this house. There's a lot of ideas and projects and goals that keep us excited and exhilarated. And that makes me so pumped. So on the note of the she shed, yeah, my parents got me a little sign that it's going to go on the door one day of the she shed. But for right now, it's going to stay here. So I'm going to put that up. And yeah, we'll talk about goals and projects and home projects, and I'll give you a basement tour and we'll talk about all the things. But for right now, we have a lot of work to do. So let's do that. And I'm going to walk you through my journal questions. And I have 10 of them as per usual. I like 10. It's a good number. So if you want to close some loops with me, have some Valentine's Day fun and do a little bit of a home refresh, house tour, basement, do we call this gym office cleanup and tour? Then just keep watching. I was so excited to receive this package because I have now been set up in this workstation area and I really want it to be prepped and ready for me to use as a workspace and not just a catch-all. So today I wanted to clean it up, but also have a proper desk set up because these bar stools are not it. So I was really excited to build this and put the entire basement together. So there was a couple of different packages that arrived and this chair was one of them. And it's like a little Teddy finish. Speaking of Teddy, my little bear, he just helps as best he can. So this was one loop that I really wanted to close. And again, closing a loop doesn't mean doing everything all at once. It's just about deciding and figuring out what's staying open and doesn't need to stay open, and that wood could get finished. And these little moments, at least I experience this, where something as simple as I'll walk around the house and I'll notice something. And maybe I only notice it subconsciously, but it weighs on me. And figuring out what we're officially going to let go of and officially release, but also what we're going to finish. So I think that the clarity from that will create some sense of calm. And I think that the completion of that will create a ton of relief. So let's just close some loops today. I'm going to take you through my journal notes now and just ask you these 10 questions, and we can work through them together while we are watching Angie close some loops as well. But I went through these and I'm still going through these right now and asking myself these questions. And I will continue to do this every couple of weeks. So definitely jot them down for yourself, or feel free to chat about it in the comments if you have a little epiphany. So number 1, what unfinished thing is taking up the most mental space right now? Whether that is a half-done home project, a task that maybe you keep avoiding, a decision that you just won't make. And I think that for me, these things that take up mental space for me are visuals in my own environment that I start and I don't finish, or work stuff that I take on and I just have opened one too many tabs where I need to complete a couple to keep going. It can also be difficult conversations that you have to have with people, boundaries that you might need to set. What does that look like? And I think one thing for me that I've realized is what I'm avoiding, even if it's a small house project or cleaning up a space like I am now, it doesn't make it disappear just because you avoid it. So at least for me, in the background of my brain, like I said, even if it's subconscious, it just gets louder and louder. So making sure that I'm addressing that and finishing up tasks that are taking up mental space. So what is taking up mental space for you right now? Number 2, what could you finish in under 30 minutes today that could bring you some relief? And this is where, for me, the calm starts. And speaking of calm, this is Jeremiah Duncan that he was just gallivanting about. I love this. One of the reasons why I love this desk space is because I can watch the animals and the birds and the squirrels. There's no chipmunks yet, but Jeremiah is very sweet and very crazy. And you can see the little statue, what do we call him? The little figurine that my parents got me, the chipmunk. He's going to hang one day in my future she shed. So what are some things, maybe just today, like one email that you could send, or cleaning one drawer? Like for me, I started this project of cleaning out this entire space by, I said, I'm just going to build that chair because that'll take me about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to build the chair. And then sometimes what happens is once you complete that one task that can take you less than 30 minutes, it almost sends you into a really good productive spiral. So if you need a good playlist, I would suggest listening to something just really motivating and starting that 30-minute task, and it might lead to more. But maybe booking an appointment that you've been avoiding, or just tidying up one little space that holds too much energy for you right now, that every time you walk by, you just think, oh my gosh, I still haven't gotten to that. And I think that completion is not only calming, but it builds so much confidence. And just a little tiny bit of completion doesn't have to be perfect. The whole space doesn't have to be done. But I think having that 30-minute timestamp for yourself of bringing something to completion, for me, is more about that confidence building and that feeling of, okay, I've got this. And that's where it builds, rather than walking by something and kind of beating yourself up thinking, oh my gosh, I still haven't gotten to that. So what's one small thing, whether it's an email, a phone call, a text, a little space that could be fixed up, what could you finish today in 30 minutes that would bring you some relief? Number 3, what decisions have you been delaying because you don't want to disappoint someone? So this one's big. What do you delay for either you delay your own health, maybe you don't make time for your health and your movement for work. You can literally see me doing this before your very eyes. I'm supposed to be going to do my workout and I'm just completing a task that was put on my desk earlier today. So learning to have those boundaries for yourself, for your health, and working at that. Changing your plans, saying no, letting something go, letting someone go. And it might be such a difficult decision, but I think it's so ideal in timing with this year of the snake and this shedding. Whether you believe it or not, the idea of shedding and letting go of this emotional weight will help you so much. And indecision, by the way, is still a decision. It just costs way more energy. And in this delaying, you're also delaying goals that you would love to have happen for yourself. So I always try and keep my big goals in front of me. And these 3 things are such big examples. So the 3 are the she shed sign that my parents got me, which is so special and just such a random, but such a pipe dream North Star goal to like build a little cottage on our property. And that would be my she shed. And then these 2 frames, what is going to go inside of them is this year's goals. So to just keep that in front of myself rather than just tiptoeing around stuff and delaying decisions just so that I don't disappoint others when really I should be showing up for myself. So I think that that's a big one, to just figure out what you're delaying. What promises have you made to yourself that you keep leaving open? Perfect example, movement, health. One thing that I have been loving is just walking on the walking pad while I work, whether it is not super productive work or really good brain power work. It just makes such a difference. But if you are not actually taking time to rest or move or have creative time or slowing down time, like for me, this is the next morning, but coffee in the morning with my husband has been such an important thing for us that honestly, I've kind of left it open. Like we stopped staying consistent with that. So these are just broken promises to yourself. And like I said, it just compounds with your confidence and in not a good way. So keep those promises, because the broken ones will quietly erode that trust that you make with yourself. Number 5, what goal is lingering without a clear next step? This might be how you are feeling, especially about a month after setting some New Year's resolutions. And it is so normal. And I think that revisiting those goals can be so important, resetting them and just giving yourself that moment. I said this last week. For me, February is the actual first start to the new year. So vague goals are sneaky little suckers. They're stress factors for sure. If you set a goal that is so vague, you won't move forward on it. It will not excite you, and it'll actually stress you out. So what clear goals, like tangible, realistic, but measurable goals that you can set for your health, for your finances, for your creativity. And what I love is at the beginning of my planner, where I mapped it out this way, that there was a wheel of life of 12 different categories that were not the common categories that everybody has, but they include things like self-love and contribution, and as well as finances and stuff, but your relationships, like all of those 12 categories, and figuring out where you're at on those and getting really, really clear. So figuring out what your goals are for this year and just having a big picture can be your North Star. But a goal without a next step is not going to motivate you. It's just going to be this weight that you might not even notice, but it's definitely an open loop. So let's make sure that we have those 10 goals set. And I say 10, by the way, because that's just how I operate, but you can do 5. I just feel like we often sell ourselves a little bit short. This is Angie trying to be strong, and I think that thing weighs like 300 pounds. I have no idea. Insane. So figure out what goal is lingering and doesn't have a clear next step, and let's get you a clear next step, because you are worth it. Number 6, what emotional conversation are you avoiding that needs closure? Not everything unfinished is physical. So we are talking a lot about cleaning the house and tidying up spaces and work and stuff like that, but this could be taking up emotional space and being an unclosed loop that is a conversation that needs to happen. Whether it's with a spouse, a friend, saying how you truly feel to somebody, setting a boundary, letting something go internally. Emotional clutter is still clutter, and it sucks. So let's clear out that space, have the emotional conversation that needs closure. And if you need to share in the comments, share it in the comments. Number 7, what project do I officially need to pause or release? One project that I needed to remove was this walking pad, just visually. And my husband, I think, knew that. So I'm probably going to donate this foldable walking pad. I do love it, but it was just in the living space, and I really wanted there to be a gym space and a living space. And I also love working at this thing. It is such a release for me, and it is so happy, but I wanted it to be a good one. So instead of it feeling messy, I thought it was really sweet that my Valentine's Day gift was a treadmill. Not that I'm going to be running on it, but just to use it for walking. And then I'm just trying to figure out where to place this shelf unit, which just ended up going back where it originally was. But little projects that you need to release in the sense of things that you've maybe outgrown. So for me, I've outgrown my Peloton a little bit. I'm not in the season of using it. I'm not getting rid of it. I still love it, but just little things that I've outgrown. And then there can be smaller things. It doesn't need to be the way that your way of being right now, but they can be little things. You know, when I was 10, I liked dolls. I don't anymore. So it's okay to evolve. And I feel like the day and age that we're in, it's so judged for a woman, especially, to evolve and to pivot. You are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to change. Switching up a timeline that isn't realistic. You know, if I'm looking at my goals from 2025, there's certain things that I've completely switched. There's certain things that will only come to fruition this year. And all of that is okay. You're allowed to close a loop without finishing the story. You might have just pivoted in a different direction, and that's completely okay. Just give yourself that permission. Number 8. What part of my home is visually unfinished and stressing me out? This one hit so hard for me. Your environment matters more than you think. And if you are looking at unfinished projects or messy areas, they will slowly compound in your brain, in your mind, in your happiness every single day. This equals cluttered piles of stuff, junk drawers. Junk drawers for me cannot happen. They stress me out so much. I think some people are wired that they don't mind. Out of sight, out of mind, they don't mind. For me, it drives me crazy. So unfinished storage areas, these are all true to me. And just making sure that the drawers are clean and just taking the time to clean that up, to get rid of things that aren't being used, and just take note of the spaces that are affecting your nervous system, for lack of a better word. So for me, that really was drawers and spaces, storage areas, and just cleaning out the unseen messes. And we're all different that way. Like I said, for some people, it's the obvious messes of like a pile of clothes on the floor or a pile of laundry that we haven't gotten to. I feel like I'm better at dealing with that. Where my stress really comes from is opening a drawer that is overloaded. So just making sure that your environment is supporting those closed loops. Number 9, what boundary would immediately close a recurring stress loop? So this is so key for me. Having set work hours, having communication limits, being not emotionally available all the time. And I think that I'm someone that, especially just being a woman and a Virgo, just a people pleaser, very detail oriented. And having that boundary is the perfect and most real way to close a loop. And setting that precedent is a way that you can close the loop and not keep having to close it. So just making it permanent that you have those boundaries that you can set immediately. And finally, number 10, what would feel lighter if I could simply decide that it was done? What's some guilt that you could maybe let go of today? What are some expectations that you could release? What if you could just accept that you are in a certain phase of life and you're okay with that? Closure doesn't always have to come from massive action. It can come from small decisions of acceptance and being okay with being in the season that you are. So what can you let go of that would maybe feel a little bit lighter if you just decided it was done? Can we talk about this closed loop and how satisfying it is? This was so much work, but also now that it's done, it's done. And it has been such a long time coming. I don't know how long you've been following, but if you're new here, I just want you to take a look at what this looks like. And I will pull up, I'm going to go try and find it, what the basement looked like when we bought this house. This was a concrete floor, not very cozy. The walls were like a yellowish color. So we painted them this like sage green color. And then we have the darker accent color on the back of the steps. We closed up the steps so that this little guy, where'd he go? He's like a serial killer. So this little guy would never fall through. Literally 2 seconds ago, he almost just fell. He's going to be 11 soon, so he is not as agile as he once was, and he constantly gives me reminders of that. So yeah, the walls were like a yellowish color. We painted them this light green, and then we have like the ceiling is actually not white. It's almost like a seafoam, like really, really light green. Bless you. And then we have this dark green that goes through the whole house. So it's been a journey to get this basement to just something that is like a rendition of what we're looking for. But now we have like a little TV setup that is its own entity. And what was happening before is I had a treadmill, like a walking pad. Buddy, you don't want to go out there. We had the walking pad right in the TV area. And while practical, it just looked really messy and I didn't love it. So this is my gift from Andre. He listened. He's like, I think you're really enjoying your walking pad. I was like, how bad does it look that you bought your wife a workout equipment for Valentine's? Like, here, go work. I don't know. I saw that on one episode of Real Housewives once, how like the husband got his wife a Peloton and she was like, I don't want that. But I did want this. So this is what it looks like. I actually ordered a little workstation for it because my favorite thing is just setting up my laptop and working. I could go forever on it. Like I don't do anything intense. I'm not going to be running on it. But what I did want, and my other walking pad did not have that, was an incline. So this thing can incline very easily. There's like see the little handle thing? You just boop, 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 boop. And that's it. I didn't care for like the screen or anything. So if anything, I can put an iPad. I guess like worst case scenario, I would have the Tread app from Peloton. I do not use my Peloton that much anymore. I think I'm in a phase of just walking, which I love it. I have a little weighted vest, which I know is very popular. I have not done that yet. And then I just moved. We have a PEMF mat that's usually there for like meditation, yoga. I just moved it underneath the reformer. Did you laugh out loud or was it just me when Angie's trying to move this reformer? Ridiculous. It's so heavy. So yeah, now we have this closed loop. I'm very, very happy with it. And then the lights that you're seeing are all hue lights, which I freaking love. Right now they're set to the Palm Beach color, but I do have like a Valentine's Day color that's usually on. It's a vibe. And then what I do love to do, which we used to do this all the time in our old house, and I don't know why we don't have a good habit of doing it, but I want to start putting on YouTube ambience music more. We do it all the time in Disney. We don't do it here. So all that to say, the gym is looking so good. Let me show you this cool room and another loop that I need to close, which we're going to do it on a warmer day, but I want to show you. We're going to make this quick because it is freezing in here, but this is an open loop. You might have seen me start to work on this. I wanted to do like a transition. It was never finished. That's what the floor looked like in this basement before, not the leaves, the concrete. So I wanted to do this cute little DIY project, but it's still not done. So this is our wine cellar, and I freaking love it. I need to put away some of the extra champagne bottles, but those frames are actually so special. They were a gift from Andre's grandparents, and we turned them into like a speakeasy style. So there's more shelves behind these two frames. So it goes this way as well. Listen, we need to buy some wine, obviously. But this is another project that's not complete. So yeah, just closing loops. So what I was saying is every other week, I'm going to come back to, let's say, the basement as one space. So like these are from our old house. I need to put them, I think they go in the kitchen. I don't even think they go in here. That's why they're there. I brought them down here at Christmas time. So yeah, it's freezing in here, but this room is so freaking cool. This is like a real whiskey barrel. And then this was a gift. There was like wine in here. So yeah, this is the real rock like that they cut into, which I just think is so cool. It smells so freaking good in here, but it is freezing. All right, little dude, come on. So yeah, in the spring or summer, whenever it's warmer, I will sit, or I could just leave the door open and put a heater on myself, but it would be cold to do this. Come on. You want to stay in there? He's exploring. Carl, come on. Let's go. Good boy. I love what it looks like when the lights are on in there. It's just so pretty. It's a really beautiful day today, actually. Considering how cold it is, it's bright. So here's Death Alley. I texted our favorite contractor ever. You know how I talked to you guys about Tony in Florida who takes care of our house when we're not there? And by the way, Tony he did so much this week that saved us. Andre got me a really sweet, and so our anniversary is right after Valentine's Day. He got me a really sweet gift that was like so full circle. I'll just share it with you. he got me a perfume that has now evolved into many different scents. But back when we were youngins, like I said, when we were 15, one of the first gifts he ever got me was a bottle of Angel perfume. And so he didn't want to just buy any of them. So he got me like a discovery kit of it. Well, basically just like a bunch of little travel ones, but they only ship to America. So Tony, I say America, I'm sorry, to the States. So Tony went and grabbed the package from our house and shipped it here for us so that I can smell which one I like, and Audrey can get me a bottle for our anniversary anyways. And he winterized the heck out of the house because apparently it was winter in Florida this past week. So he did a lot, like the pool and everything. So this is Death Alley. So what I was saying, we have our Tony here. His name is Dave and he's amazing. And I texted Dave and I was like, and now I'm going to scare myself again. Because whenever I told him this, I was like, does it not look like It the Clown's going to come out from back there? And now I just scared myself again. I call this Death Alley. It is the one spot in the house that I do not like. When we bought this house, I was like, well, I didn't like the basement, but I had a vision. For this room, here's my vision. First of all, we need the lights on. Is it not? It's terrible. It's terrible. I won't be insulted. Here's what we're going to do. So I have a full concept. So let me take you back here before I get nervous that something's going to pop out. Stop it. Stop it. I literally never go back here. I don't like it. So it's literally just a shower. There's like a little sink area. It's not small, but it's not friendly. Okay. It's not giving homey. So here's my idea. You know how I just showed you the showers on the other side? I want to crack open this wall. And turn it into a steam shower because nobody's using that shower. It could still stay a usable shower, but I want to turn it into a steam shower because I freaking love a steam shower. And then it could be like one with our sauna outside, that there's like the steam room in here, and then you could go outside and go to the sauna, which is still not functioning. We don't need to talk about it. The hydro company needs to come and like give us more power so that the sauna can work. So maybe sometime in 2027, we'll have a sauna. Anyways, so steam room in here with glass. And then on the other side of the shower, we would close it up so that you're not seeing somebody go to the wash. Not that there's not that many people using our house all at once, but you get the idea. So opening this up, glass right to the shower that already exists with the steam. And I'm just thinking like eucalyptus scent. Now, what do we do about this long, dark alley? Well, this side will have glass. So it's going to be beautiful. We're going to color drench it. This is my new thing in life. Color drench it. Dark, 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 dark. Almost like forest midnight color painted. Plus little cut birch branches, I think they are, all along this wall with a little bench. That's what I'm going for. And maybe a long carpet because it needs to be more homey. This room, we can't talk about it. It needs a barn door, but it's basically just a storage room. It's where the water tank is, and it's not exciting. So this is my workbench. That's Andre's Valentine's Day gift over there. So I'm thinking this is the other video that I sent our carpenter friend because he made us those barn doors. I was telling him, I was like, we need one here and one here just to clean it up. I feel like that's a really good idea. So I hung the little frames up there. I feel like that looks really cute. And then I put my Valentine's Day thing here. The plants are thriving. Do you want to see something really funny? That I'm not going outside to get that. Do you know what that is? The orange ball out there? That's from a Summerween video. It fell from the balcony and I didn't see it until it got cold. And I was like, it can stay there until the summer. I'm not going out there. But I'm loving this little space. This is the she shed sign. And then my parents got me that little hanging squirrel. Isn't he the cutest thing? He's a chipmunk, but he's the size of a squirrel. And then, the chair. You want to show them your chair? Okay, so this is the greatest thing. So Carl sleeps on this, and it's super comfy, but look. By the way, it's not lost on me that I'm wearing... When did that light turn on? I scare myself. It's not lost on me that I'm wearing pajamas, but I'm comfortable. It's kind of like an all-girls sleepover hangout party. So here's the thing with this chair. You can use it in like so many different ways, and for somebody that sits... I sit like crisscross applesauce. Is that how you say it? Like legs crossed all the time. But apparently it's so bad for your hips to do that. But because the lower portion, the way that I'm seated is just so much better for my hips and just so much more comfortable. Let me show you. We are literally editing this video right now, by the way. Okay. And then I got my space heater. Do you want to show them your chair? And then we have the blanket, just in case you maybe do a little frou. We call it a frou. Dad, I frew up. So look, this is how, right? So you can sit like this, and then he'll usually sit like on my legs. And then you could do like this, or this is what I was showing. So you can spin it around. Don't ask me why I got white, but I do like it. Don't break the computer, Angie. Or you can just do like this. Isn't it incredible? I used to have one of these at our old house in the city, but it wasn't this cozy. We've come a long way. The other thing too is this, the workbench is actually almost counter height, so I needed one that was higher. So yeah, this is my little sanctuary until we build a she shed sometime in the future. And by the way, the whole reason for this microphone is so that I can do exactly this and you can still hear me when I'm far away. So we're going to get back to editing, closing more loops. And I think what we'll do next week is, I can't keep talking about this vacation and so far away. There's a TikToker that does this and every time I laugh. We're not doing that. We're going to have a full conversation. So we need to talk about this vacation eventually, because I'm not going to be that girl that keeps, like I said in last video, I'm not going to keep alluding to stuff and then not talk to you about it. So we will talk about the vacation. We will continue to close loops. And then one thing that I really do want to do is just review. I literally have it on my other side. So this is like my actual work setup. And then on the other side is products and any notes and stuff that I'm working on. And you can't see a lot of it because it's like projects that are secret. But right here, I have all of my 2025 New Year's vision board. A little chipmunk. Yeah, these are very private, but it's okay. And then some have switched, some have pivoted, some are now just in the works. See, rainforest room. See, with the steam room and the sauna. That didn't happen last year. Well, it kind of happened, but it didn't happen yet. And then I have this year's that I want to go through. So I'll probably do that next week with you guys and just kind of revisiting the New Year's goals without feeling like we're completely behind and failing. I need a barn door for that. I need a barn door so bad, or just some form of door. So yeah, we'll go through that and just chat vacation and wherever the wind takes us next week. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this hangout. I feel like it was a really interesting balance of like real life hangouts, real life updates, home updates, but also practical. And that's what I mentioned this last week. Like, I do not want to be that girl that's like, I don't like surface level. Like, we have to go a little bit deeper. So yes, we will still decorate and we will still clean and we will still do like the cozy stuff. But I just really want to also make it motivational and inspirational and helpful and practical, that you can actually like take this stuff and run with it and live a better life while still using this as your little escape. I am going to literally go through the notes that we just went through, like all 10 questions, answer them for myself. I would encourage you to do the same, journal it out, and just really figure out like where that sticking point is and where you're feeling that little bit of resistance, of that lack of closure. And if you close a loop today or tomorrow or sometime this week, comment it down below and let us know how you're doing. We're here to support. I feel like we have like a very rare space on the internet here where there is just such a crazy amount of besties in the comments that will unconditionally support you and cheer for you. So if you need that little bit of support, we've got you. So share your closed loops, share the loops that you want to close, and always any breakthroughs. If you have a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, yes, share it. So I will see you guys same time, same place, probably next week. We might switch some things up. It won't always be at the same time, same place, but well, it'll always be in the same place, but not at the same time or same day all the time. But for right now, I'm loving our little weekly schedule. So I will see you guys then. And if you did enjoy this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed and following in all the other areas, because there's content popping up everywhere. And there's just a lot of cool stuff happening behind the scenes that I can't quite share yet. And I'm very excited. Thank you for hanging out with me today, you guys. I love you so much. And I will see you very soon. Bye, dudes.